Hello everyone, the Nerdy Steve here, and today I will be featuring a Boros Invoke Justice deck in Standard. This list is from a recent winner of an MTGO Standard Challenge. The link to that tweet is below, and the list is also below. I'm going to talk a little bit about the plan of the deck, and then we'll play a couple of games. So, let's go. I featured a mono white Invoke Justice deck recently, and this plays very similarly. So we have the card Invoke Justice, which is return target permanent card from your graveyard to the battlefield, then distribute 4+1/+1 counters among any number of creatures and or vehicles target player controls. So with Invoke Justice, we want to bring back maybe an Owl the Dawnsky or Sanctuary Warden from our graveyard and put them onto the battlefield, get a bunch of counters everywhere, and just reap the rewards of doing that. And we get these really big creatures into our graveyard via Raffine's Informant, Fable of the Mirror Breaker by the Stage 2, and Restoration of Eiganjo by discarding them to reanimate either a land or a Raffine's Informant or a Spirited Companion. And that's really the basic idea of the deck. We want to get a lot of value of Invoke Justice, and Invoke can provide a lot of very immediate pressure. Not only is maybe Sanctuary Warden creating a token and drawing you a card and being a 7/7, flyer, or a 5/5 flyer, really good, but if you invoke Justice and you have, a Spectral Companion out or a Raffine's Informant, you can put 4+1/+1 counters on that and start attacking right away. So there's just a lot of really cool things going on here, and really powerful things. And also just have to note that this deck also has the Wandering Emperor, like a lot of white decks in Standard right now. And Wandering Emperor is a card that can help you stabilize and remove opponents', creatures, and can just... It really fits very powerfully in this deck. And the Samurais that the Wandering Emperor can create can also get pumped with Invoke Justice. And another thing, one more thing. This deck actually has main deck Fateful Absence, and a lot of the decks I have been playing on this channel don't have main deck removal and interaction. And I think that's something that we want to really start considering much more highly now, because it's so important. It really is. There are a lot of creatures you want to get rid of, and if your opponent plays something you need to get rid of before, you have your board going and powerful threats, it's gonna sit there and just create so much incremental advantage that you will lose. So having an ability to interact with it, before waiting for it to attack with Wandering Emperor is really good. Again, Wandering Emperor is great, but if your opponent doesn't attack or if it has Vigilance, you're never going to be able to remove it. So Fateful Absence really serves a really meaningful purpose. Now, with all that being said, let's go play a couple of games and see how the deck works. Also, if you haven't already, you should totally like, comment, and subscribe. That's a great way to help support me and this channel. If you have any deck suggestions, please let me know. I am always looking for more things to play. And I have a Twitch if you want to watch me play live Magic. And I have a Metafy if you're interested in coaching. Those links are down below. Now, thank you for watching, and let's play some games. Now, a problem with this hand is we have the Invoke Justice, but we don't have a way to get the Sanctuary Warden into our graveyard. And that could be a problem. Again, if we get to turn 6, we can just cast it, and that's kind of fine. But at least we do have the Spectral Companions to draw us into something. And we don't know what our opponent's on, but it seems maybe a similar deck to us, which could be decent because now we're not under a lot of pressure aggro-wise to actually do something. Though if our opponent does have a Fable of the Mirror Breaker here, that might be a little problematic. Wedding announcement? Okay. So now what do we do here? I think we can just attack. Why not? We get 1 damage in. We're not blocking with it, I think, anytime soon. Because also, we will probably be casting a Sanctuary Warden on our 6th turn. And I don't think we're, like, Invoke Justicing necessarily anytime soon. So maybe we don't need the Spirited Companions around to get pumped. Reckoner Bankbuster is actually pretty good here. Mainly because it gives us something to do with our mana. Otherwise, we just wouldn't be doing anything. I don't think I'm going to attack here now. Maybe it was a mistake trading our Spirited Companion for that. And it looks like our opponent is on Mardu, which is a little scary because our opponent now has all 3 colors and can have really, really good removal with the flashback Circle of Rights, I think, or something similar to that. And Tenacious Underdog. Okay, yeah. So we're gonna need this Sanctuary Warden to do a lot of work. We also need our opponent to not get a Sheoldred. Sheoldred, we have the Fateful Absence, so it's not the worst thing in the world, right? But Sheoldred is can very much put a hinder in our plan, because we're part of the power of Sanctuary Warden is the card advantage. But if we're losing 2 life, then, you know, that's not that great. Alright, and we do have the Wandering Emperor. So I'm also going to, this is something that I talked about a lot on Twitter, which you should go follow me, is we need to be proactive and put a stop during our upkeep here. Because if our opponent did cast a Sheoldred, we won't have the opportunity to kill Sheoldred during our draw step because Magic doesn't give us priority. We're going to crew in response here. So you need to be really proactive so we can Fateful Absence the Sheoldred before we draw. Now we don't have to worry about that. Now, I think I'm just going to Eiganjo here. We'll get a Plains. I don't want to invoke yet. I think I want to surprise Wandering Emperor, exile the underdog. Exile that. And I think we block here. This is a lot of damage, everyone. This is a little worrisome. We don't have really any removal for a Wedding Announcement, and I also now do wish. Maybe I wish I didn't trade early? I'm not sure. Fable? Okay. 4/4 Fable. Yeah, that's a little problematic. Let's discard that. And we will draw with a Spirited Companion. We'll do that. I think we need to make a Samurai. Then we can invoke that, and we'll target our things. 1, 2. That seems bad on my end. I think I want to keep Fateful Absence up. I'm not entirely sure yet. But this is a little rough. A little rough. We don't have a lot of life to play with right now. Interesting. We would like maybe another Sanctuary Warden. I hate that we're going to have to Fateful Absence a token here. But depending on what our opponent has, we could be okay. It is gonna be an uphill battle, but I think there is a chance we can stabilize, but it's gonna take a lot. As long as our opponent doesn't really have a lot of other token makers. Ooh, Archangel of Wrath to deal, what, 2 to me? That's good. Alright, before our opponent goes into attackers, I'm gonna kill that. I think our opponent probably should attack with everything here, but did not, and that's good for us, I think. That is very good for us. So let's play a Spirited Companion. We'll do that. We can't... I guess we can Fateful Absence that, and then we can attack. Our opponent now has gonna have an active Fable of the Mirror Breaker, which is a little scary. But I think we just need to deal the damage while we can. Ow is really good here. Really good here. Because now our opponent is at 11. Right? And that means we almost have lethal with Ow and Sanctuary Warden in the air. Now, that being said, again, an Archangel of Wrath can change things a lot. But now we have a couple of outs. We have to be very, very careful, though. Our opponent, there's a lot of stuff that can go wrong. Ooh, Sarah Paragon. Okay, that doesn't do necessarily a lot here. Our turn? Okay. Oh. So now we can do this. Cast Ow. Legend Rule it away to give everything +2/+2. And now our opponent has to block there. I think we can attack with everything. Let's remove a shield counter. Oh, and the Wandering Emperor. Alright, beautiful. Ooh, our opponent has to use a Sarah Paragon. GG, everyone. Wow. Okay, we'll keep this. It's a little... We don't have anything to do on turn 2, which is a little sad and not ideal. But the Fable of the Mirror Breaker allows us to discard Sanctuary Warden and on turn 4 attack with a Kiki token and have 5 mana to potentially invoke Justice on our 4th turn, right? And so that's probably the best thing this deck can do. So we'll go for that, right? So we have Sundown Pass here. Next turn, nothing. Third turn, Fable. And we drew the Invoke. So hopefully it works out how we drew it up. Now, there's a lot that can go wrong in the meantime, like a Thalia. So, love that for us. But that's okay. Anointed Peacekeeper, which is very bad. The Wandering Emperor, okay. No blocks here. We will Fable. Oh, another Anointed Peacekeeper. Love that. This is a disaster, by the way. A literal, unmitigated disaster. We might be okay. If our opponent doesn't have a Brutal Cathar, we'll be fine. But a Sanctuary Warden, okay. So, no blocks here. What I will do is discard a Warden and a Plains. Yeah, let's attack here. Then we invoke. And we're going to put all the counters on the Spirited Companion to make it a really, really big creature. We're going to remove a shield counter there. Another Anointed Peacekeeper, okay. But now I don't think our opponent has a good attack yet. So we may have stabilized. May have. GG. We did it! Alright, this hand obviously doesn't have red, in case you were not aware. We're gonna hello. And not ideal, but we do have a lot of options. And we're drawing cards. We have the Eiganjo, right? So once we draw one red, we'll be fine. I'm not too worried about it. Ooh, it looks like our opponent is on a Shanna life gain deck. Also, Denick is weirdly good here, right? Because it stops the Eiganjo. It stops Invoke Justice. We can't target anything at all. So it's very, very bad for us. So we're going to have to exile it now. I think we have to. I guess maybe theoretically we could target Shanna. But our opponent's going to be drawing so many cards. I think we have to exile that, though. I think we just have to accept our opponent has this huge board and lots of stuff going on. And then maybe next turn we can stabilize. But I don't know if we can. It's oh, and our opponent kept up. I don't like our opponent keeping up stuff. So maybe we can Spirited Companion here. Well, we can just put a lot of creatures out. Or we'll get rid of the Fable. Okay. I think we can breathe a little bit. Now, if our opponent has an Elspeth,
not looking for trouble, but I'll fight if I have to. I know there's a hero inside you.
I mean... Okay. So what do we do here? How much damage can we deal to Elspeth? We're bluffing a Wandering Emperor. That's why our opponent didn't do anything there.
This war is getting out of hand.
So that worked out really, really well for us. Really, really well. A Lagrella? Ooh. That's fine. We'll go to 5. And another Shanna. Well, there's our ow. Then we don't do anything and say go. Okay. And this is kind of fine, I think. Because we might be able to surprise our opponent. The Wandering Emperor on...
Run away.
Oh, our opponent may have made a little mistakey because the first strike now gives us the owl trigger and everything gets +2. So that worked out for us. That was very, very good for us. So now what do we do here is the question. Let's GG everyone. We did it. Well, everyone, thank you for watching me play some Boros Invoke Justice in Standard. This deck is great. You saw it worked really, really well. As opposed to the mono white version I played last week, Fable of the Mirror Breaker is just an amazing card. It is so powerful. It allows your deck to be so consistent. And with, if you have any type of graveyard shenanigans going on, it just helps you get there. And it really just holds the entire deck together. And it just brings it to another level. This deck was great. It was fun. I loved it. I do think, there is potential for it to get hated out fairly decently. we had trouble against Denick, and then there are other cards like Graveyard Trespasser, which can really, really make things much more difficult for you, but it's still very winnable. And this is also a deck too where as I was playing it, I really, really felt that there were a lot of different options and things I could do, and I was learning as I was playing it, and I always love decks that do that. And I also want to note the main deck Fateful Absence were integral in us winning some of these games. You know, in best of one, you tend to want to just be solely focused on your thing because if you can do your thing quicker and faster than your opponent does their thing, you can win. But I think as, I've come to realize how mid-range and how much of a slog these standard is right now, having interaction to be able to, pull that rope at just the right time to really, really mess up your opponent is really, really important. And I think I'm going to be much more mindful of including stuff like Fateful Absence in my decks going forward. Maybe not, who knows? I don't. With all that being said, if you liked what you watch, you should totally like, comment, or subscribe. It's a great way to help support me and the channel. You could also follow me at Twitch, where I stream live at twitch.tv/TheNerdySteve. I also have a Metafy, where I do some coaching, and all of those links are down below. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope maybe you learned something, because I certainly did. And I wish you to have a wonderful morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are. And thank you so much for watching. Bye.